Bracket creep is a bit of an obscure concept. Let me explain. This plate of cookies represents what I can buy with my salary. Inflation comes in and it decreases the amount of cookies that I can buy with the same salary. So I go to my boss and I say, hey, can I have a pay raise? I can buy fewer cookies with the same income and I would like to be able to buy the same number of cookies. And my boss agrees and gives me a raise. The problem is I'm now earning a larger salary, which means I'm taxed at a higher tax rate and I can buy just slightly less. That bite out of the cookie represents bracket creep. The government has taken a bite out of my real income. So year after year, as inflation continues to rise and my pay, hopefully, is keeping up with inflation, government is taking more and more bites out of my cookies. This is bracket creep, taxing you at a higher rate without taking into account inflation. So what does this mean in dollar terms? So take your average worker in 2020-2021. They make $89,000. But with an inflation rate of 4.8%, that $89,000 is only worth just under $85,000. So that average worker asked for a pay raise and is now being paid $93,000 so that their real income stays the same. However, they're now being taxed on a higher salary and end up paying an extra $400 that year in tax. As time goes on and the inflation rate continues, that tax compounds. The next year, they're paying $900 in tax, and the year after, over $1,200 in tax. Within 4 years, that average worker has paid an extra $4,000 in tax as a result of bracket creep. So who is impacted by this most? In general, it's people who are at the beginning of their careers or are making less money. As you can see in the graph, it starts out quite steep and marginal tax rates increase rapidly at the lower incomes. And then it levels out for people making higher incomes. Currently in Australia, we address bracket creep through tax cuts. However, by relying on tax cuts, we're also relying on the whims of politicians to ensure that we're not getting tax increases every single year. As outlined in our recent paper for the Centre for Independent Studies, bracket creep hits young Australians the hardest. We argue for indexation. Indexation is a simple and elegant solution that allows the tax brackets to shift in line with inflation so that you're not getting this hidden bracket creep tax. To learn more, go to cis.org.au.